Hi everyone, hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin once again. Thank you for support. Okay, big got the CoinsKid crew. So, like I said to you, Elliott wave, it's so subjective. It's constantly changing. Right now we could say, okay, well the wave 2 is not in, and this is still your wave 2. Like I said to you, you could be looking at some kind of A, B, C expanded flat correction right here, and it's all about if Bitcoin loses its one fib, because obviously the count can still remain here. If you understand what I mean, you've got basically a 1 or 2, and right now this is impulsive and this is corrective to this low. It only becomes not corrective and impulsive and a reversal if you lose this low. So right now you've come up and you're retracing, okay, perfectly normal. If you hold it, you come back up, break the high, fantastic. Okay, do I envision it at the moment? Not necessarily. I think that what we've got here is potential ABC expanded flat correction. I'm going to show what I think we're looking at and where I think Bitcoin's coming to, okay, and why I think we're coming to there as well. So I'm going to go through this with you. So right now for Bitcoin, okay, we've got this potential A, B, C, and I think you're looking at a 2 fib, okay, down there. Now why the 2 fib? And I'm going to go through this with you as to why that could come all the way back down there in July, and we could get a massive retracement to that low. I did say to you, it could get quite nasty, that retracement. You come back down and it can retrace to it as deep as it likes, but as long as it doesn't lose it, you're confirming that that's your low. Now I'm going to show you where this has happened before, and I'm going to show you a potential 2 patterns here that I've spotted that have given us this breakdown target as well. So there's a bit of confluence. So this is potentially where Bitcoin's trying to get down to, is the 2 fib at 17,844, and at that point, that is where we might get the third wave come in here for Bitcoin. Okay, and you could say, all right, what we're looking at right now is this being a wave 2 correction down here. Okay, and this is some kind of A, this is some kind of B, and right now we're in a C leg coming down. Okay, and obviously within the C leg we're going to have subsets of waves as well. So right now I'm going to show you why I'm looking at potential target, and obviously to invalidate this right now for Bitcoin, all we have to do is come up and break this high. So that's your key high right now, okay? The 0 fib at 21868. And I would imagine that if Bitcoin starts to do something like this, you're going to start to see fear, panic and blood. But all your Bitcoin is doing potentially is retracing to this wave 1 start, okay? You come up impulsively and there's some kind of wave 2 correction. Now we've seen exactly this last year. I'm going to show you exactly where we've seen it, but firstly, whilst I've got you on this section of the chart, I want to show you a couple of patterns that I've spotted here. Okay, so if I press Alt-I on the keyboard, sometimes it's really good to look at your charts inverted. Okay, so just there you could say, okay, well this is some kind of Adam and Eve bottom. So there's the Adam and there's your Eve like that. Okay, and you come in and got this rounded bottom. You come into resistance, potentially run into resistance, come back for support, and eventually break that resistance. Okay, you see that. And equally, what you've got here is also some kind of large potential cup and handle pattern. You run into resistance, potentially come back, create some kind of falling wedge or rising wedge if it's on the inverted, basically like that. Rising wedge, everyone gets bullish again, and then you drop basically, and you would be in a technical target. Once you break that resistance, I'm going to show you your technical target of this pattern, okay? And obviously the Adam and Eve rounded bottom pattern, and obviously the potential cup and handle pattern that we will create for Bitcoin just there, and then we start to come up and break that resistance, boom, or technically support, sorry, for Bitcoin, you would be in a pattern target. So I'll show you right now. From there all the way down to the bottom would be your technical target if you broke that, well, lost that support, sorry, and that would be your target. Look at that, the 2 fib. So it could get quite nasty here, and you can see that that particular retracement is basically, let me invert the chart again, sorry. So from there to the 2 fib all the way down to the low would be literally 1.44% off the low, which would be unbelievable. Okay, unbelievable if that holds, because that could be a generational opportunity, because what that would indicate is potentially this is still your wave 2 like this, and what you've got is this expanded flat correction, ABC correction like that, okay, which is normal, which is what you want to see. So you've come up impulsively and correctively. Now if this is a scenario, okay, you would be expecting this to be the third wave, and the third wave's usually the most impulsive. So have we ever seen this before for Bitcoin? So this is a potential scenario right now playing out for Bitcoin leading into July, okay? And like I said to you, we're not necessarily going to get that close above that 55 EMA, which is really bearish, okay? So we do need to see a break above that at some point, because if we do consistently close down there, under that 55 EMA on the monthly time frame, to be down there for like 2-3 months on the trot is going to be really negative for Bitcoin going forward, okay? So again, this little scenario I'm looking at, there's absolutely zero guarantees to it playing out. Obviously we can come lower and lose this low and take out that, and what you've got is some kind of ABC in there, and then you're looking at coming down impulsively, continuing, and this isn't your low, okay? So there is a foundation here that could be built on this low like this. You're coming up, you're coming down, you're coming up, you're coming down, you retrace and you break there, we could be in for a good ride in July onwards. Okay, and like I said to you, that's a possible scenario, so I always show you all the scenarios. Okay, so this wave 2 might not be over. Okay, to invalidate this count right now, all we got to do is break bullish here and break this high, and then this invalidates this thing that I'm looking at right now for Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm potentially looking at the 2 fib sometime in July being tested at 17,844 for Bitcoin. Okay, and at that point, people are going to expect something like this continuation. Okay, but like I said to you, foundations are built. You create beautiful reversal patterns, W bottoms, and you know, if you start to come up and break resistance, fantastic. You lose support, not so fantastic. So enough spiel. Let me show you on a daily time frame where this has happened before, and you know, and I'm expecting it potentially, just because it's happened before doesn't guarantee it's happening again. So like I've said to you, I think that what you're in is some kind of massive expanding flat correction here. Now if you refer back to last year, okay, we came down in June. We've come down in June here, look, this low's in June as well, and then we retrace into the MAs, and then we retrace really deeply here, okay, to this low, and it's at that point everyone getting really bearish. I remember people saying I'm going to fall through there and go to 20k, but we never did. We got some kind of spring, and we put in that monster third wave there for Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm expecting something very similar here at the moment. Okay, if I get rid of drawings like that, you can say, okay, well, this is your June low, last year was your June low, you broke out and you retraced to it. You're breaking out and then you retrace into it. So if in July you retrace to that 2 fib like I've shown you, and you get the spring, then you could be looking at some kind of big monster third wave like that. Okay, so basically this is a 1, this is a 2, and you're looking at a big 3, pretty much like we did last year. Okay, let me show you. This is a 1, this is a 2, and then this was your 3, this is your 4, and this is your 5. Okay, so we could be looking at something like that for Bitcoin going forward, but again, no guarantees. It's all about this low holding here. Okay, so at the minute we're not actually in the technical target for that. You know, it's a bit of hopium that we are in that target, but I'm just trying to find any kind of confluence to the fact that, okay, we lose the 1 fib, we're going to come down. Where we're going to come down to? Are there any patterns that's showing us where we're going to come down to? And yeah, there is the 2 fib, because it's a monster inverse cup and handle and a monster inverse Adam and Eve pattern at the moment. Okay, and some kind of rounded top. Okay, for Bitcoin, again, no guarantees. Okay, and it's all about support and resistance. But if you do start to see Bitcoin come down below the 1 fib at 19754, you're going to be in minimal targets, a reversal wave, because look, this is retracing at the moment. Okay, and if you start to lose that, you create something called a reversal wave where you come back down. And what you could say, okay, well, this is your low, you broke out impulsively, and all this is doing is correcting back down to this low, and it can get really deep and really nasty. And I've shown you where it's happened before. If you come down, you hold this 2 fib, which would be the technical target of this inverse cup and handle, you know, inverse Adam and Eve, rounded top, like that. You could say, well, the 2 fib's going to get met sometime in July at 17,844 for Bitcoin. So you enjoyed that update. Okay, now personally, I'm not in a trade at the moment. I got stopped out yesterday. We didn't hold this ABC correction, and right now it does look as though Bitcoin's obviously coming down. And yeah, you know, your altcoins are going to get smashed up as well with this, because if this is right, okay, and you start to come up here and you create this little rising wedge, basically an ABC correction here, and then you dump again, you could be looking at a drop here of around about 11.05% for Bitcoin. But at this point, this has to hold, okay, because like I said to you, if this low doesn't hold, then what you've got is some kind of A, B, C correction back up to the high, and then you're consistently rolling again. You've got impulsive moves to the downside, and at that point, you know, if you do start to lose that low, and it is a big if, obviously, if you do start to lose that low all the way down there that you put in June, your minimal target will be $16,552 for Bitcoin. So it's all a game of support and resistance, isn't it? You know, hope you understand that update. But so far, so good. You sort of, it's a bit lackluster, a bit boring, I know. And this is what you do usually see with accumulation. We did see it last year, okay, at the bottom of that A leg, and I'm anticipating that this is the bottom of the C leg going forward. And if it is, you know, like I said to you, you could be in for a fantastic time leading into 2023 here for Bitcoin and crypto. Take care, everyone. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.